Thank you very much for all your comments. It's very complimentary. My fellow Singaporeans, thank you for joining us this Sunday evening here at Mountbatten SMC Rally. Our candidate, Jeanette, is here to give you a strong alternative to the PAP. The Singapore People's Party has been committed to speak up for the citizens of Singapore. Over the past few years, we have kept the government in check on many issues such as CPF, overpopulation, housing, rising medical costs, MDA licensing framework, and the AG report. Yes, because I was about to say the AG report on accounting lapses on the PA and the statutory boards. Right. Jeanette will do the same for you if you elect her to represent your voice in Parliament. She will be another tigress in Parliament if elected. The Singapore People's Party also has a strong record of running the Potong Pasir Town Council well for 25 years. We have the track record to ensure that Jeanette will run the Mountbatten ward well if you elect her as an MP. I know Jeanette. I work alongside with Jeanette. I can almost say that she is my sister. And we are both Hakka women. Do you know what Hakka woman stand for? Yeah, Chigangina. As you know, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew loves Hakka women, I think. As well as on this journey in opposition politics, both of us are on this journey in opposition politics. We dare to oppose when it's necessary for the good of the people of Singapore. I know Jeanette has a burning desire to serve the people. She has a desire to bring about the change that Singapore needs and that the people of Singapore seek. As Jeanette has said, she will close the gap on what the government promises and what it delivers. She has pledged to put the interest of residents before the party and herself. Jeanette will close the gap on accountability. She will make sure that all public bodies will be held accountable to taxpayers. The PAP has been in power for more than 50 years. They help transform Singapore economically, but it is unwise, very unwise, to assume the same strategy and the same party that can help sustain Singapore's developments and future. The PAP is trying to transform itself, but change is not easy. Within such an old and massive machinery, we cannot depend on the PAP to change itself. I know how people work, and Mr. Chiam and I had a chance to serve in politics over the last 40-odd years. If the PAP wants the public to contribute to a certain policy, it is harder for them to hear the ground. They are surrounded by what? Yes men. People who tell their leaders what their leaders want to hear. The ground is sweet. And that's what they will hear. Otherwise, how is it that they can continue to insist on sustainable population growth? Otherwise, how is it that they can continue to allow companies in Singapore to use low-skilled, low-wage foreign labor? Otherwise, how is it possible that they can allow foreign labor to displace Singaporeans? Our members in the SPP comprise research fellows from top organizations and specialists in policies for Singapore. If you read our work during the last 5 years, we make deep analysis of existing policies and we ask critical questions. I will give you the example. Regarding foreign workers, I understand the plight of SMEs. They want to employ foreign workers and they hope for cheaper labor. Everything is getting more expensive in Singapore. Do you agree? When given grants, SME choose to use the grants for low-hanging fruits, such as laptops, simple systems, instead of taking the risk to leapfrog their competitors. The government is interested in fulfilling their own targets. They say, well, I have disbursed X million dollars of grants, so it is not my fault. You don't have productivity growth. It's not my fault if you don't have productivity growth. Is it a Singaporean's fault? Here is what I have to say. Yes, invest in productivity, but I also propose working closely with applicants of schemes. Regarding foreign labor, we understand their role in our workforce, and I'm afraid that the PAP can sometimes conveniently forget that the foreign workforce just the buffer. In economic recession, you and I have to stay behind, but they can flee to another country. So if the PAP is always unable to hear the truth from the ground, they need to hear the truth from Parliament. That is why it is important to send the best opposition candidates to Parliament. They must have an impeccably clean background, always be honest and upfront with the people and also with the government. Transparency. They must persevere. Perseverance is a simple word, but it can be one of the hardest elements to develop in anyone. So many candidates quit after losing one election. I think you know who. The candidate must also understand the people he or she seeks to represent. Jeanette is a successful lawyer, a great mother with 3 sons and 1 daughter. We are all very envious of her for producing so many children. And a young woman on top of that, with a loving husband. A loving wife, she has preserved convincing Mountbatten voters of her sincerity for years. When she walked with me around Mountbatten, she showed intimate knowledge of this place, and she has also developed a set of goals for you and your town. Don't leave your future in the hands of the PAP. Vote for the Singapore People's Party. Vote for Jeanette for Mountbatten. Vote for Ravi Philemon for Hong Kong North SMC. Vote for Mrs. Lina Chiam for Potong Pasir SMC. That's me. Work for Brian Long, Law Kim Hui, Abdillah, Ben Pui, and Hamin for Bishan Toa Payoh GRC. Vote for your right to move into the future of Singapore together. Thank you for your support. Good night and God bless.